We all know that Jesus said to turn the other cheek. But does that mean you should stay in an abusive relationship? My name's Michael, the Bible ReThinker. It's time to rethink. I'd like to say from the very start that the passage that we're going to look at today in the Gospel according to Matthew in chapter 5, the context of that expression of turning the other cheek is where Jesus is talking about how to respond to your enemies. Jesus isn't talking about how to live peacefully in a relationship. He's talking about how to deal with enemies who are desiring potentially even to kill you. And so, right from the start, I want to encourage you that if you are in an abusive relationship, Jesus does not desire for you to stay in that abusive relationship. And I want to encourage you to have the courage to step away from that relationship and to do whatever you need to do to separate yourself from that person. But I'd also like to share what it is that Jesus did mean when he said to turn the other cheek. As a matter of fact, to be more specific, Jesus said that if anyone strikes your right cheek, to turn the other cheek. In the culture in Jesus' day, for somebody to strike the right cheek, what they would do is they would use the back of their right hand to smack the right cheek of the person they're interacting with. And unlike our maybe punching or hitting, which would be a way of expressing anger, in Jesus's world, to backhand somebody's cheek like that was primarily to insult them, not to hurt them. It was a way to say they are less than I am, that they are an inferior person. So it was more of an insult than an act of violence to strike someone's cheek. But what Jesus says to do in this verse is when somebody insults you and they suggest you are less than, if you turn the other cheek and you tell them to strike the other cheek, it would force them to use the palm of their hand to slap you, which, while we might think that would hurt, the cultural significance of such an action would be to acknowledge that they are unequal. So it's kind of like saying this: look, you've insulted me by slapping me. How about if you slap me in a different way that would be not insulting, but would acknowledge that I am your equal? Jesus isn't necessarily saying we should literally apply that, but this is the first in a series of 3 little vignettes, 3 little pictures or cartoons that Jesus gave regarding how to respond to those who mistreat us. So in that first one, when we turn the other cheek, what we are doing is not fighting back, not striking back, not backhanding them and saying, no, you're less than I am. No, we are standing our ground and saying, no, you will not treat me that way. The very next picture is of a law court, in which perhaps a very wealthy person would sue a poor person and take their cloak from them. And Jesus said, you know what? If they sue for your cloak, give them your shirt as well. Because if you leave that courthouse without a shirt on, you will embarrass the person who is suing you. The person suing you would experience shame in Jesus' world if we react to a lawsuit in that way. So again, this is about outsmarting our opponents. It brings shame on the opponents without us actually striking back at the opponent. In the final vignette, and this has also become an English idiom, the idea of going the extra mile. Jesus said, if you're forced to go 1 mile, then go instead 2 miles. But Jesus here wasn't actually talking about having a good work ethic. In Jesus' world, a Roman soldier could impress someone at any given moment to carry something from here to there. But there were limitations to what the soldier could demand. The soldier could make you carry something from here to there, but only for 1 mile. If he were to make you go more than 1 mile, then he would be violating army policy. So here's what Jesus is saying. If the Roman soldier forced you to carry something for 1 mile, and then you go 2 miles, now you'll make the soldier that impressed you into hard service nervous, because if word gets back to his superior officer that you went 2 miles, then he can get in trouble. The soldier who impressed you could get in trouble because you go too far. Furthermore, it would baffle him, make him wonder, why on earth is this person going an extra distance? And it would make them ask questions. Now, all these behaviors, these little pictures, are kind of, in some ways, like little riddles. They're there to help us think creatively about how to respond to our enemies. How to fight back without, well, fighting back. But ultimately, Jesus isn't just interested in teaching us how to live peaceably with others, although that's important too. Jesus is talking about how to respond, how a Christian can respond to persecution in their world, and to live in such a way that shocks people and leads them to ask questions. So the ultimate goal then is for the gospel to be proclaimed because of the strange and bizarre ways that the followers of Jesus are behaving. Because if we love our enemies, we'll end up with fewer enemies. And the kingdom will grow and have more followers of Christ. What do you think of this video? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What questions or comments do you have? I would love to hear from you. And please be sure to subscribe and visit my website at thebiblerethinker.org.